I thought, just in case anybody might be interested, I thought I would show you guys around the Haygain Hay steamer that we've just been getting. Now, this is basically a last resort kind of thing, because I know that they're quite expensive. I think we got the cheapest one, I can't remember now. But this is kind of like a last resort for the horses' coughing, because, you know, they get so much time out. They're out from about 8 o'clock in the morning till about 10 o'clock at night, and this is in the winter because I'm lucky enough to have my own place. So it's not like they're being kept in. Me and the husband gave their stables a really good clean out. So they're pretty much like cobweb free and things like that. I always give them a really good muck out every day. I don't just quickly pick the poos out or anything like that. I give them a good muck out, and I just don't understand the coughing. Arthur's coughing is particularly bad at the minute. I've already had the vet out last year about it, and he went on steroids and things like that. I don't know if this has got anything to do with the PSSM2. I just don't know enough about it, but Jackson doesn't seem to be coughing anymore, whereas Arthur is still coughing a bit. You can still, I'm not actually doing a great deal with him, but I've noticed that when I get into a bit of a routine of exercise, so it might be like 20 minutes of walk over the poles and things like that in the arena, just doing something to get his heart rate going a little bit seems to help. But when he's just sat in the field all the time, that's when he seems to get a bit coughy. But yeah, our horses get to be out all the time. They're very rarely in. And then over the summer, they're out 24/7. So as soon as it's warm enough for them to stay out full time, they'll stay out. So yeah, I don't understand it, but I just thought I would give you guys a bit of a walk around about what I think of the hay steamer, because I'm a little bit disappointed in it, if I was being completely honest, and I'll explain as I go through it. But hopefully this, if anybody is thinking of getting one or has been on the fence and not sure, hopefully this helps you out a little bit. But all in all, yeah, it steams the hay and it seems to do a good job of it. But the thing is, there's a lot of manual handling issues that I have with it, especially if you've got a bad back. I'll also show you the little, my husband is awesome. He's an engineer, so he loves the excuse to start like designing things, and he made this little, he connected like some water pipes up into a container, and then it goes down into the steamer water container, so where the water gets heated up, and it's so nifty. It just needs like a little bit more help, because I think one of the pipes is leaking slightly, because he needs to get a different pipe. But because he knows that I've got a bad back, he wanted to help me out quite quickly, which is very sweet. But it's so nifty what he's done, and it means I don't have to like bend over with the watering can. But yeah, I'll take you through it, and just to give you guys a look at what it is.
I just want to show you guys, it's obviously a cat's life. The cat has the best life out of everyone. Don't you, Ginge? No. Say hi, Ginge. His name is Ginger. I've rehomed all my dogs and cat. And I think he's 12 now. But we rehomed him thinking that he was going to be an outdoor cat, whereas, as you can see, he's not an outdoor cat.
Come and do a bit of mucking out and get the hay steaming. So I'm just gonna quickly check that Arthur is still in the field I want him to be in, because Jackson's jumped. Yep, there he is. Jackson is way over there in the distance. Nightmare. Arthur did actually go to limbo, but I actually caught Jackson jumping when I was walking back from the house to the cottage. And Arthur was actually on his knees. And he was just about to limbo under the fence, and I screamed at him saying, "You dare." And he just jumped up so quickly, and then he came running over to me. Just stood with me. I think he was asking for me to let him in or something, but yeah, at least I stopped him, because that would have been the whole fence down, I think. So this is our Haygain Hay steamer. So you've got the big, just move this, you have, I just kind of call it a big box, the big box where you put your hay in. And then this is the little, it's almost like just a big kettle really. But when you get it, it's basically just this box and this little black container. So you would have this screwed on, but my husband's took it off. And then with it, all you get, which my husband's taken it, but we just use this with a bendable, but you got one of these, but it wasn't bendy, so you had to put it in there at an angle, and fill it with the watering can. So I've had to hold that, whatever it is, with a watering can that's holding 8 litres of water, because that's how much you're meant to put in this water heater container. And it takes at least 5 or 10 minutes to fill. So you just bent over, and I have a really bad back right down at the bottom, and I really feel it, and it actually put my back out again. So it wasn't ideal. But this is what my husband's done for me. So we have a water pipe that comes along our hay shed, and he's created like a little ledge, and he's bought like a can, I guess, a water can. And he's set up this, I guess, little junction so I can add or take away water. So I guess, so I can just fill that. And then this black pipe is meant to go in here. And then I can just undo this, and then it starts filling. So it's just leaking a little bit. He just needs to like alter it slightly, but it is so much easier than having to stand over it with a watering can. So now all I have to do really is just get my hay prepped, and just put it into the hay steamer, keep filling that until it's at 8 litres. I actually put a little bit more in, because the first time that I used this, I put 8 litres in, and I let it overrun by about 15 minutes, I think. And it nearly, the heater container nearly went dry, which is a really bad thing. So I always just add a little bit more in, and just go from there. Okay, so that's full. That is just so much easier. I really appreciate having a
an engineer for a husband. And then this is a tiny little bit fiddly, but it's all right. Just screw that on, make sure you don't cross thread it. And then it just tightens up. Just leave that like that. And then all you do is flick the switch. I always turn this off just for safety. And there is a green button. You just press that on. And then the instructions are that you should wait until it goes into the green area, and then so it's gradually going to heat up. It's just like, it's essentially a big kettle, that container. And then measure an hour from there. So I'm just going to get on with some mucking out and keep an eye on it. So this is the one thing I don't massively like about it. So I'm going to have to hang around now and wait for it to get between a temperature of 80 and, what is it? Like 80 and 110. So I've got to keep an eye on it. And then when it hits the green, I've then got to put a timer on my phone of an hour to remind me that it's on. So some things that I think could do with being improved on this, because it's not cheap, but effectively to me it's like a big container attached to a kettle and some tubing. That's how it feels to me. But at the end of the day, it does what it says that it does. It steams the hay and it does it well, so that's fine. But I just think there's some things that need to be improved. So it's such a shame that you can't have like an app on your phone or something like that. And there are maybe some sensors inside that can attach to the app so that you can watch it remotely. So you don't have to be hanging over it all the time. So that would be nice. Just to be able to see the temperature without having to come back and forth and keeping an eye on it. And also, which I think is, I don't understand, but it is so easy to run the water, run that heater container thing. It's so easy to potentially run dry. I nearly did it in the first time that I used it. So I don't know why there's no like safety cutout or like, it's such a shame that there's no warning sign, or, you know, on an app it could send a buzzer to your phone or something like that and tell you that, like, give you a warning or something like that. There's just so many things that could be done. And so yeah, I'm just gonna muck out and keep an eye on it. And then so gradually the temperature will increase. So it'll just gradually increase, and when it gets into this area here in the green area, that's when I'll put a timer on my phone for 60 minutes. So I'm just showing you our views, guys. I do feel lucky to have some awesome views. I'm just waiting for the hay steamer now, but it's so pretty. The sunset is just amazing. Okay, so the temperature has got into like the green band. So I've just set my timer for an hour. And just gonna get on with some more jobs. You can just about see the steam coming out. Okay, so 60 minutes is up. It's still boiling away, but there is barely any water in that, guys, so I wouldn't want to go any higher. Still keeping its temperature. I think it's at 100 degrees. You can just about see the steam coming out of it. So I'm just going to switch it off. So I'll just switch it off by the button, and then for safety I just switch it off at the wall. I do just leave it. I do just tend to leave it like this, but for like the benefit of this video I'll show you, and then I'll close it again. A bit hot. So that's basically your steamed hay.
So yeah, all in all, it's fine. It steams the hay and it seems to do a good job. It's just for the price, I just would have expected a few, I suppose, techie extras. So the things that I've mentioned, so it would be nice just to have a fill level on the front to make sure that you've got enough water in. It would maybe be nice to have an automatic cut off if the water does get too low, below a certain level, obviously to avoid damage. But yeah, it would also be nice to maybe have a few temperature sensors in there and to be able to connect to an app, so you can walk away from it and you can check the status of it on your phone. But I suppose those things maybe might come in time, they might not, but that's my opinions on it. But it's all right, it does what it says on the tin. Like I said, I just expected a bit more for the money. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this one. I'm going to get on with my holiday cottage again. Arthur is still in the field I want him in, so that's great. Yeah, no major updates with Arthur, just hoping for his feet to grow, I guess. The trimmer's coming again on the weekend for his second trim, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, until next time.